Hey y'all, it's Tonnett. Today I'll be sharing a travel related inspiration or poem about our blizzard blessing at the Blue Hole in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. On December 26, 2015, a lot of kids were still talking about Santa Claus and the gifts he bought or forgot, but we were introducing our children to Santa Rosa. So who or what Santa Rosa? Well, Santa Rosa is not a single person. It is a small community in New Mexico that is known for its natural lakes. On our trip out west, we passed Santa Rosa on the interstate and noticed a sign for Blue Hole. Although we were inquisitive, we didn't look it up at the time. We just continued on our journey with no plans of returning to the area because our return trip to the east would take us through Kansas. However, a series of winter storms rerouted us back to Santa Rosa the day after Christmas. We were actually still trying to get to Kansas and Missouri in a quest to visit as many states as we could. We tried taking Interstate 70 earlier, and the road required chains, snow tires, four-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive. Therefore, we came back down south in our Toyota Camry to take Interstate 40 to Highway 54. After we passed through Albuquerque, New Mexico, the snow was thicker and we saw a sign that said dangerous winds. Our visibility decreased drastically and the path the other cars and trucks made was not very clear. At first we thought we could still make it through the snow to the other side of New Mexico and get to Wichita, Kansas before the winter storm hit that area. Then the wind picked up. Our speed dropped and we could only see about 2 feet ahead of us. We prayed for safety and could care less about seeing additional states. We just wanted to make it off the road and see another day. I went online and reserved a room for Santa Rosa because it was about 30 miles away. Then we focused on getting there. We made our kids be quiet and we watched the roads intently. We were trying to stay on the pavement. When we finally reached exit 275, we noticed there was a deep drop off, so we drove really slow. Then we got to the bottom of the hill and got stuck trying to drive up the historic Route 66. The guys got out and pushed us to the Phillips 66 gas station, and I called for roadside assistance to get us up the hill to the hotel. It took the customer service agent a while to recognize our location as she mistakenly thought that I said Santa Rosa, California. When she finally was able to dispatch a tow truck, we realized that we had not even contacted the hotel directly. Therefore, my husband called the hotel while I stayed on the line with roadside assistance. I could tell by the look on his face that something wasn't right. Then he shared that the hotel had been overbooked due to the storm and all the other hotels and motels on the exit were sold out. We knew we needed to stop driving because the blizzard was dangerous with low visibility and the snow-packed roads were so. We decided to grab a warm meal at a restaurant across the street and call around to see if all the hotels really were sold out. We learned that the hotels really were sold out, but the police were directing people to something called the Blue Hole Convention Center where they were setting up a shelter. I thought, didn't we see something about a blue hole on our way out west? Desperate for a place that's safe for our family, we went to check it out. We figured it must be safer than sitting in someone's parking lot if the police were there. We made it to the Blue Hole Convention Center with a big push from a couple of firemen. Then my husband went inside to find out what the process was. He learned the big room was filled, but they had additional meeting rooms that people could stay in, and they would be bringing more blankets and cots. We grabbed our blankets and pillows and headed inside to claim a space. My children were hesitant and wanted to continue on our journey, but we explained that it is better to be safe than to be off a cliff somewhere because of the road conditions. Our meeting room had about 4 other families in there, including a couple headed to Greenville, North Carolina. Color, title, political affiliation, and economic status didn't appear to be on anyone's mind as African Americans, Asians, Caucasians, and Hispanics all gathered in a safe space. The next day, the Santa Rosa community sent food about every 2 hours. We were able to take showers, and we were updated about the road conditions. My family was even interviewed by a local reporter who told us the history of the Blue Hole. We stayed at the shelter for 2 nights because Interstate 40 eastbound was closed until December 28th. On our way home, my teenage daughter and I were reflecting, and we recognized that we had a real Jesus birth experience, without the labor, of course, because I really thought we might be sleeping in a stable for a minute. I even told a friend that we can change the song to say, "Away in a shelter, no room for our stay. The Smiths were grateful for cots which to lay." On December 29th, I woke up in a real bed again, and I had a revelation about visibility as a result of our Santa Rosa experience. When our visibility is low, we recognize our need for God to guide us and direct us, but what about when we can see? Without the Holy Spirit, we are operating on the autopilot of our personal experience and may even be utilizing the information that we have obtained from others. But there is a God that sits high and looks low. He sees all and knows all. Therefore, we should always allow him to lead us down the path of righteousness. Proverbs 3:5-6 teaches us not to lean on our own understanding, but acknowledge him in all of our ways, and he will direct our paths. It's amazing how that blizzard in New Mexico caused us to be redirected to the Blue Hole in Santa Rosa, where the water is clear and the temperature is 62 degrees 365 days a year. That reminds me that God is always present. His vision is always clear, and his path is always right. We were so thankful for shelter during our storm, and the wise men and women who bought us gifts of cots, blankets, refresh kits, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All of those things were a blessing. The state troopers, firefighters, and the community made it a pleasant experience and were mindful of different family requirements. There was food for infants and pets, showers, and movies for the kids. My family will never visualize state of emergencies, shelters, volunteering, civil servants, or giving the same. Our original travel plans did not include Santa Rosa, but I am so glad that my family was able to experience the spirit of Christmas and the love of Christ from complete strangers.